Hey everyone, it's Mafalda, and today, as you can see, I'm standing up and I'm going to be doing the Show Me a Book tag. So I've been seeing a lot of people on Instagram do this where they ask people to complete the question, show me a book that, and it could be anything. Then you have to find a book on your bookshelf that completes that prompt, I guess. So it can be like, show me your prettiest cover, show me a book that has a bird on the cover, like it can be anything. And like I said, I've seen a lot of people do this on Instagram, but recently I saw Brit from the channel, basically Brit, do it as a video on her YouTube channel. So I thought it was a great idea and I'm doing it today. And it's kind of complicated because this is the only bookshelf that I can film right now, but I have other books and other bookshelves on my room. If you've seen my bookshelf tour, you know. This is just the bookshelf that you see in most of my videos, but I assure you I have more books than this, unfortunately or fortunately. So I asked on Instagram for you guys to give me prompts for me to look books for, and I got a bunch of answers. So I'm gonna try and do like most of them at least. So let's just get started, and the first one that I got was from TB, and it is to show a book that would be a good weapon. And I do have some big books, but I'm gonna grab the biggest one I have. So for this one, I think I'm going with my special edition of The Wizard of Oz because I think this is probably my heaviest book. This is pretty heavy and hefty, and it has a hardcover, and I just think I would kill someone with this. I'm like trying it out. Yeah, I would definitely kill someone with this book. So I think this would be a great weapon. But I also have an edition of David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. That book is like 800 pages, so that would probably also be a good weapon. I'm not going to show you right now because I have other books stacked on top, but yeah, that one is probably also a good weapon. But this one, since it has a hardcover, it's probably the best weapon that I have. So yeah, The Wizard of Oz is my weapon. Then Beatrice asked a book that fits my personal aesthetic. That is a hard one because I honestly don't know what my aesthetic is. That's my problem. I love all different kinds of aesthetics, but I'm gonna try and find one, I guess. So this is probably a very surprising answer, but I think I'm gonna go with The Crown by Kiera Cass, just because I love these types of colors so much. My favorite colors are pink and purple. And if you see like my channel, for example, my thumbnails are always in that type of like colors. And so I just think this cover is beautiful because of the color coordination. And since this cover has like some pinkish and purplish kind of like tones, I think it kind of fits my personal aesthetic just because of the colors, not really about the like the dress or anything. Nothing about that, it's just based on the colors. I think it fits my personal aesthetic. I just love the color coordination in this. So I guess this one, but yeah, I feel like I don't really have an aesthetic, so that's why I'm having a hard time with this. Then Spadesread asked me to show a book that made me feel represented and seen, and for that one it's pretty obvious, and it's right here. It's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This was definitely the first book that I read that made me feel so seen in so many aspects. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with this one, even though it's a cliche and I mentioned this book in literally every video, but it is true. It meant so much to me when I first read it because I went into this book not knowing anything about it other than the fact that it was really popular. And yeah, it surprised me so much, and I just felt really great reading this and reading the representation in this. So yeah. Fen Books 1 asked me to show a book that has a pink cover. I feel like I have so many of those, but I'm just gonna grab the nearest one. You probably can't see, but I have a bunch of pink books here, so I'm just gonna grab, for example, The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I absolutely adore this cover, especially like the gold foiling on the cover. Can you see that? It's absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I really love this book. I read it as an audiobook and I loved it so much that I just grabbed a copy for myself, and yeah, that is a pink book. Tame Reader asked to show a book that is very sad. Okay, I'm gonna grab one. This is a book that I don't think I've ever shown on my channel, and it's probably one of my oldest books on my bookshelves, and it is The Diary of Anne Frank by Anne Frank. And if you know the story, of course you do because everyone knows the story, but you know that is just heartbreaking what happened to her. It's just so sad to read about this girl that wanted so much for her life and was cut short because of something that she had no control over. And yeah, it's just really, really sad. If you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it because it's really just puts everything into perspective, I guess. And I read it when I was super young, honestly, and I just have very fond memories of reading this book and feeling so sad for Anne Frank. Like, it's heartbreaking, this book. So yeah. Hitij 1996 asked for a book you've read a long time ago but still think about frequently. That is not something that happens to me a lot, but I'm gonna try and find one. I don't know if 3 years ago is a long time ago, but I'm gonna count it as a long time ago because I don't remember what I did yesterday. So 3 years ago just feels like ages ago. And I'm gonna go with Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I read this book, like I said, 3 years ago when I was studying abroad, and I just have very fond memories of reading this book, and I just think about this book constantly. I think this book is brilliant, honestly, and it's probably one of my favorites from Marissa Meyer. And I just still remember the story so well, like I read it yesterday, honestly. And maybe this book has also stuck with me because this was probably one of the only books in my collection that I bought abroad in another country. I bought this in Belgium when I was studying there. And yeah, maybe that's why it stuck so much with me, because I just have a lot of great memories of reading this book there. So yeah. Bookish Mia asked a book that made you laugh out loud. That is also an interesting one because I really feel like I don't tend to do that, but I'm gonna find one. So for this one, I think I'm going with a series in general, I guess, and I'm going with the saga books. From the 3 volumes that I've read up until now, I just love the comedy in this, and I just think it's so funny, especially because this is a sci-fi series and it's very action-packed, and I just really wasn't expecting the characters to be so funny in this, so it really caught me by surprise when I started reading them. And yeah, I'm excited to continue with the series, and yeah, it really does make me laugh out loud in some parts. Then Sevilla asked a book that is a dystopia. I honestly don't really read a lot of dystopias, but I'm gonna grab one. The amount of dust in these books, like, I am covered in dust right now, but I'm gonna go with Delirium. If you read this series, like, can you comment down below, because I feel like no one really talks about these books anymore, but I read the whole series back in the day, like, I don't even know, like 9 years ago or something, and I really liked it when I read it. And yeah, this is a dystopian series, kind of like The Hunger Games, and I just think the concept for this book is so good. It's about a world, a dystopian world, where love has been cured, like people don't feel love anymore, and when you reach a certain age you can like take the love out from you, basically, because obviously with love comes heartbreak. So like in this society there's no love, and that will make you feel happy and secure and everything. And yeah, it's about a girl, and obviously she falls in love and she doesn't want that love to be taken away from her. And I just think it's such an interesting concept. I really liked this series back in the day, and yeah, this is definitely a dystopian that if you haven't read, please check it out because it's really nice, at least from what I remember. Then James Silva asked a book that sparkles. Oh, do I have that? I don't really know. I didn't want to go with The Wizard of Oz that I have because that one has gold foiling, so it obviously sparkles. So I'm gonna go with The Diviners. I don't know if you can see that, but it does sparkle a little bit because of the like tinfoil stuff here. So I guess that one. Next one is from Weaving by Felipe, and it's the cheapest book you bought and the most expensive. So I have a lot of expensive books, but most of them were gifts, so I didn't technically buy them. So the most expensive book that I bought was definitely The Diary of Frida Kahlo by Frida Kahlo. I just don't understand why art books are so expensive. I think I got this one for like 25 or 30 euros, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for me, okay? And yeah, I bought this one. I really wanted it, so yeah, that is the most expensive book that I bought. And the cheapest book that I bought, I think it was this one, which is Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. First of all, this cover is hideous. I hate this cover so much. I bought it secondhand and I think it was like €1 or €2 or something because it was secondhand and because the cover is so ugly. So yeah, I guess this one, but I do have some other ones that I bought secondhand that were also super cheap, so yeah. Then Babella asked a book that has an ugly cover. And I have so many of those, so let me just grab one. So of course I had to grab a Portuguese book for this one because I don't know why we just have the worst covers ever. So I'm gonna go with The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. I really enjoyed this book, but this cover is just not it. I really do enjoy the English cover a lot more. I just feel like this one makes no sense. It has a butterfly here. Like, what the fuck is up with that? I really don't get it. Like, it's not that it's a super ugly cover, I just don't think it fits the book well. So yeah. Then octobermoonblog asks for a cover that makes it seem from a different genre than the real one. That's an interesting one. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, so maybe people won't agree with me on this one, but I feel like Mexican Gothic, just from the cover, doesn't seem like a horror book. I feel like it looks like a historical fiction, even though it is, like, but the main genre is horror. So if I looked at this at the bookstore, I would never say this is a horror book. So I guess this one, but I don't feel like people are gonna agree with me, but yeah. Mexican Gothic. Ines MP12 asks for a book that is written by a Portuguese author, which I don't have a lot of, but I'm gonna grab one. So for example, I have Sonetos by Florbela Espanca, who is a Portuguese poet. She was a Portuguese poet. And yeah, I really like Florbela Espanca and her writing style, so I have this one. It's a pretty short one, but it's also like poems, so yeah, I really like this one. I have it like completely annotated, you can't really see, but I just really enjoy her writings. Then Casey asked for a book you wish you never bought / read, and this one I don't think I'm gonna be able to answer because when I regret buying a book or reading a book, I just unhaul it. So I feel like I don't have a lot of those books that I regret buying or reading, because when that happens, I just unhaul it and give it to someone else that will probably enjoy it more than I did. So I don't think I have any books like that still on my bookshelf, so yeah, sorry Casey. Then Gita from Life Worth Reading asked a book you've changed your mind about, for better or for worse. This is also interesting. Let me see. So for this one, I don't really have the book physically with me anymore because I unhauled it. But one that really comes to mind when I think about this question is Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Because when I first read it, I was so scared of saying I didn't like it that I just gave it 3 stars. But honestly, the more I thought about that book, the more I didn't like it and didn't want to continue with the series. I think I actually read that one for a vlog here on my channel, not really sure. But when I talked about that book in that vlog, I was just like, yeah, it's good. But the more I think about it, the more I don't like it, like any of it, honestly. I don't really vibe with sci-fi books for some reason, and just the whole dialogue between the characters in that book just makes me physically cringe. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Illuminate. Even though I don't have it anymore, I'm kind of cheating, but I just have a lot of books on my shelves that I haven't reread in a long time, so I don't know how I feel about them anymore. And also, like I said, when I don't like a book that I've read, I just unhaul it. I don't have space or time to keep books that I'm not gonna like cherish for the rest of my life. So yeah, I think that one. Darian asked for a book that has all the letters of your name in the title. That is a very interesting and hard one. So I'm just gonna go with Mafalda. So Mafalda has AMFLD. So I don't know if I can find that, but I will try. Like, I swear I can't find it. Like, no books have F's in them. How? I can find books with all of the letters except for F, so that's a big FU for me. Not even in my CBR. You won, Darian. I cannot find one. Like, literally cannot find one. Maybe I have like one, but I just can't see it right now. So yeah, you won, Darian. Happy. Barbara Reads asked for a book you're scared you're not going to like that much. So I have to go to my TBR, which is all right here. I don't know if you can see that. For this one, I'm going with The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. And I picked this one up, I think, last year. And I don't know, I just don't know how to feel about this book because I haven't heard that many things about it. So I just don't know what to expect. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to enjoy it, but we'll see when I read it, I guess. Magical Mr. Mist of... I don't know if I can see your full name, but you asked me good WLW representation. So Sapphic representation. I have a lot of that. So for that one, I think I'm going with The Henna Wars by Adiba Jargadar. Honestly, I feel like all of the books that I have with Sapphic representation is pretty good representation. I feel like none of them is harmful in any way. But I just really enjoyed this book, so I really wanted to mention it. And also it's Sapphic representation in young people, so I really like that because it's just good representation for young Sapphics who are trying to find themselves and their place in the world. So yeah, I'm going with this one. Ines Cunha asked for a book with a car on the cover, and I feel like I have that, so I'm gonna go grab it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so I thought one of the Harry Potters would have it, but it doesn't. So I'm just gonna keep looking. Okay, I don't know if this counts. This isn't a car per se, but it does have like a lot of vans in the cover. Like, if you know, you know. If you've read Ready Player One, you know that the people live in like stacks of vans and cars. So I'm gonna go with this one. I don't know if this counts, but I honestly can't really think of any book that has a car on the cover right now, so yeah. Anya asked for a book that is middle grade, and I don't really have a lot of those, so... Okay, so I think this one is considered middle grade. Not really sure because I do have a lot of children's books and then a lot of young adult books. I don't really have anything in the middle, but I think this one is, and it's Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls, and this is like collection of a lot of women in history that are important, and it's for young people to read and to feel inspired. Max Books asked for a book that made you sob, and I think we all know the answer to this. It has to be A Little Life by Anya Nagahara. This book broke me, and I have a vlog all about it if you want to see it, so... And I don't really have time for more, so I'm just gonna pick the last one. And it's definitely judge books by their cover, aka the prettiest cover. So the prettiest cover I have, that is a very hard one, because I don't want to repeat books, because some of the books that I've showed you so far are some of my prettiest covers. So so if I could pick, some of my favorite book covers that I have are my Wizard of Oz book that I've already showed you, and also my Diviners book cover because I just love it and I don't see it anywhere. So I decided to pick a book from my TBR and that I haven't read, and I definitely picked this book up because of the cover, and it's The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake. I just think this book cover is gorgeous, and I honestly don't even know what this book talks about, if I'm being honest. I don't know what it talks about, but I just saw the cover and I was just like, I need it, thank you. So definitely this one is one that I judged by the cover, and I bought it because it had a pretty cover, so yeah. I hope I will like it though. And that concludes my Show Me a Book That tag. Thank you so much for participating and giving me so many prompts. I honestly felt like I could do this all day because I had so many to answer. So thank you so much for your participation, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too boring, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!